Hello, I'm Rupert Turton, and welcome to the Business Spotlight, where we interview local business owners about their journey. This time, I'm joined by Bill Price from SpaceVac International, where he's been MD for a number of years. SpaceVac make high-level cleaning systems. I'll let Bill explain a bit more detail about what that really means. But Bill, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the invitation. We manufacture really three main systems that we produce here in the United Kingdom. First of all, we have a high-reach gutter cleaning system, so that it allows the operator to clean up to 5 stories high in a residential or a commercial area, basically from the safety of the ground. Then we have an internal system which is based around removing dust and debris from government buildings, schools, shopping centres, warehousing, etc. So again, it introduces a high level of safety and efficiency as you do everything from the ground. And then probably the most prominent system we have is the ATEX systems, which is a system that we can remove combustible dust safely from high levels in bakeries, plastics plants, wood, metal, glass, etc. So again, we remove the need for production downtime, and we introduce a high level of safety and efficiency because we can basically reach everywhere with our systems.
Yeah, people need to have a quick look at your website to see what these systems look like. But I mean, fundamentally, you're going to hate me for saying it like this, but it's a vacuum cleaner with a very long pole attached to it and a number of fitments at the end that allow you to get into difficult to access spots. Is that about? That's probably not the description you'd use, is it, Bill?
No, it has been said quite a few times. You know, if we describe it as a man vac, then we sort of attract a little bit of a criticism from other parts of the world. You know, but it is basically that. But it's using carbon technology, and a pole is less than 300 grams. You know, so in imperial measurements, you're carrying a bag and a half of sugar, and you're cleaning at 10 meters in height. Really, you know, so it's there's no stress or wear and tear on your body when you're doing something that light. Very easy to do.
Yeah, excellent. What's the main places that these systems get used then?
Oh gosh, if I was to reel off the client name, I'd probably be sounding like a bit of a big head, and I'm not like that at all, you know. But if I just say this week we have the third system going into Walt Disney.
Whoa, yeah.
Bimbo, Microsoft, Berry Global, Nestle, Mondelez, Mars. So it's really we operate at the professional end of the market. So we have multiple contracts all over the globe that the largest international companies that have a reputation and must maintain a strict hygiene control. We work with all of these guys. So
yeah, and some of those sounded like they were probably office buildings as opposed to factory buildings.
Yes. Anywhere there's dust, you know, it doesn't need to be. It's in a lot of places like a factory. It's a must clean. There's government regulations about dust that gathers in flour mills. You've got allergen controls and all sorts of cross contamination issues if it falls into one of the lines that's not producing that product.
Yeah.
In a shopping mall or an office, you know, we're just recently down at the Bank of America in Canary Wharf in London. Mm-hmm. And people don't like to see it when they're going down elevators and stairways. We're in Heathrow Airport next week, and there's dust on the ledges, etc. So it's an aesthetic thing as well as a must do, you know. So we do a lot of work where we're making things look a lot better, and it's also air quality because the dust gathers on the air moving machines, and in the winter, you know, you don't have your air conditioning on. In the summer, as soon as you switch this on, all the dust comes out and covers the dust, and you've got that asthmatic issue then, you know, which we can help solve.
Yeah. Cool. So what have been the biggest issues that you've had to overcome as a business owner, Bill?
Pioneering this way of sort of a new way of working, basically, you know. I guess if you were a facilities manager in a bakery or a guy running a shopping centre, and somebody said to you, you need to get up there and get this clean now, then the first thing that would strike you would be, right, I need to get some scaffolding. Mm-hmm. maybe it's possibly a cherry picker. Ladders would have been something in the past, but not so much now. But in other countries, ladders are still allowed, basically, you know. So you would not have thought of, I know, I'll find a guy that sells carbon poles.
Yeah.
So it is trying to get the word out, you know, and we have to use as many different types of marketing as we can to tell people about this new concept.
Yeah. And what's the marketing that works best for you then at SpaceVac?
Well, I've been spending a lot of money on marketing over the years, you know, and I would say 100% using LinkedIn's internal marketing campaign has just the best reach, because obviously 88 million business people on there, and you're not allowed to connect to them because it has restrictions. But if you use the system itself and they put your videos and adverts in front of the right job titles in the right business sectors, I've had the most successful campaign ever, and it's been very consistent as well.
Yeah,
so.
And also allows the international market, of course.
Absolutely. The UK and America are our biggest markets. UK because we've been here for so long, but America is we're maybe scratching the surface now, you know, but we're doing maybe 40, 50 systems a month.
Yeah.
But it's just it's trying to sell into 50 countries who are governed by 50 different sets of regulations, and they're not so very good. Most companies are not so good at telling each other about best practice. If you find it in your own business, it's like, I've sorted my problem. So we've got to try and share the best practice.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what has been your biggest learning since you've been a business owner then?
Oh, good question. Very good question. Trying to manage remotely teams, people around the world. So we're in 42 countries. So how to inspire somebody in India, Japan, Ukraine, Sweden. Everybody has a different, maybe, financial situation, the government, the politics we have to take into account. You know, we started off fantastic in a place like Argentina and the economy crashes, and you have to consider absolutely everything when you're dealing with partners around the world, you know. So it's how to communicate effectively is been the most difficult thing. And I think when COVID landed, it became a positive, because we learned about this forum that I'm talking to you on now. We learned about Zoom and Teams, and then we learned how to do demonstrations from a distance, etc. So we're still learning. So that was probably the most difficult. It's very easy to train somebody who's sitting in my office and let's go out and do a demonstration. I'll show you how to do it. I'll tell you what to tell the customer. But it's hard to do that 5,000 miles away from somebody, you know. And different languages and different, but the fact is, when you put the poles in somebody's hand, we have a 92% success rate of the sale. So it's
excellent. Yeah, cool. So go on, the next step then. What have you learned about yourself during the journey?
Too many faults to mention, but no, I sort of I've always believed, and I didn't realize this until of late, really, you know, that I've always had to like what I do, and I'm very, very fortunate in waking up every morning and thinking, right, today I'm going to do this. It's exciting, you know. And I always try and speak to as many people as I can about being their own boss, starting their own business, thinking entrepreneurial, you know, to try and realize their dreams, you know. And I started off as a lad in the council estates of the north, and joined the army, and then British Steel, and on production lines and things like that, you know. And then when I went into retail, I found that the harder I worked, which is what my parents taught me, the harder I worked, the more people realized that I was of value to them. So everything I've done has been about putting everything into it. And I try and everybody I meet, everybody that works for me, everybody in my family, my kids, I instill that in them, what my parents instilled in me.
Yeah. So actually it's your two things there, aren't there? So your focus and your hard work.
Yeah, yeah. I can't say I didn't have the opportunity to have a good education. I
Mm,
probably did, you know, but there wasn't the opportunities for university. There wasn't secondary education after 16. That was it. Basically, it was careers information, and where I came from, it was shipyards, the mines, or
yeah,
find something else, you know. So I decided to go off into the army, but that's the problem realized in a lot of areas of the country. And I can always remember, I don't know, I think it was Norman Tebbit said, if you haven't got a job, get on your bike. And that was so many years ago. And I've just
yeah,
always followed that philosophy. I've been all over the place working, and I just, you make your own life, you make your own rewards. That's my philosophy.
yeah. Okay. So, what are your aspirations for the company in the next 5 years?
Well, I would like to see it spread so that we have at least a representative in every country around the world.
Yeah, yeah,
Difficult ask, but obviously we had a couple of years of hibernation with COVID, you know, but we're now spreading our wings and having many, many exhibitions, which is where we'll meet prospective partners,
yeah,
basically distributors, you know. So the first this year, we really want to concentrate on finishing a distribution network in Europe. Then after that, it's further afield into the really growing economies of Asia, Malaysia,
yeah,
etc. You know, so it's to strengthen what we already have and also find new distribution partners.
yeah. Okay. It's a slight change of tack then. You sort of touched on this already, but what would you say to anyone thinking of going into business?
Well, yeah, I guess it's the idea, you know. If you were to, I don't. Let's try and think of an example. If you're going to open a sandwich shop, what makes it different from every single sandwich shop in the high street? You have to be the best. You have to offer something different. Your service has to be absolutely brilliant. You know, when I go to restaurants sometimes really because the service is so good, and it may well be that the food isn't as good as another restaurant, but if you're the best, always try and be the best you can be. And if you're going into a very niche market as we have done, then it is a lot easier. You can understand that, but then you have to prepare for meeting what competitors will arrive once they see what you're doing.
Yeah,
So if you've got a great idea, then make sure you patent it and make sure you keep it and you register your ideas. If not, if you're going to compete in the marketplace against many, many other people, you must be the best at what you do.
yeah. So actually work out what differentiates you from everybody else in the markets that
100%.
you're going into. Yeah. So as you say, if you're a sandwich shop, what makes you a better sandwich shop than the one next door?
Absolutely, absolutely, and people come back to you then, I quite love it when people recognise me and they say hi, Bill, and this sort of thing, you know. And
Yep.
it may even be just somebody that meets me at the car park, but they recognise you with a smile on their face, and then I will always go back to that sort of person, no matter what the price is.
Oh, yes. So it's the personal relationship beyond the what you're selling, your price, your product.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love this question. Who is the first person that comes to mind when you think about success?
Oh gosh, I would say Alan Sugar.
Okay.
I read his book, and I've read quite a few life books, the sort of thing, you know. But you love him or you hate him. I think he's Mr. Marmite, you know. And but he started off as a market trader selling windscreen wipers or something like that, you know. And then they developed the Amstrad range and became what he is now, you know. So I think it shows everybody from whatever background you start off selling something on a market stall. If you're good at what you do and you're passionate and you've got that drive and commitment, it doesn't matter if it's the same as everybody else's, people will come to you, you know. And I think he failed a few times, etc., you know, but he dusted off, got back up and went at it.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Actually, an inspiring person. Yeah, I do see what you mean about being a Marmite person as well. There's,
Yes.
I can't believe his TV persona is what you actually get if you're working with Alan Sugar. So I think it must be
Yeah.
an interesting character underneath it all.
Absolutely. I think a lot of that's a TV show, but it's what makes people watch the television, isn't it? A
Of
bit of
course it is.
controversy.
Yeah, of course it is. Bill, it's been lovely talking to you today. If anyone's interested in what SpaceVac International do, how do they get in contact? How do they find out about you?
We have two websites. We have a US website, which is spacevac.us, or we have our international website, which was www.spacevacinternational.com. And then there's lots of contact pages and videos and interesting information on there. And then that will lead you to us eventually.
Cool. Excellent. Bill, thanks for your time today. It's been lovely talking to you. Bill Prince from SpaceVac International.
Thank you very much. Cheers now.